Joining me now is celebrity and royal commentator and host of Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered, Kinsey Schofield. Let's start with David and Victoria Beckham. They are reportedly in crisis mode. Amid speculation, their eldest son, Brooklyn, is preparing to publish a tell-all biography exposing his allegedly greedy and self-obsessed parents. Beckham biographer Tom Bower has written in the Daily Mail, Brooklyn might be a spoiled brat, but when it comes to sympathy, the 26-year-old wins hands down. If there were ever a victim of rapacious parents and a dysfunctional family, it's the Beckham's eldest son. Wow, Kinsey, this sounds appalling, and yet I can't look away.
And Tom Bower always has his hands exactly where we want it, whether it's Harry and Meghan drama or the Beckhams. Tom Bower is the guy. I don't doubt that growing up in the Beckham household came with pressure, but I have a hard time extending real sympathy to someone who has been handed every possible advantage. Brooklyn has had to work for very little, married into a billionaire family, and will never face genuine financial insecurity. At some point, we need to reserve our empathy for real world struggles, not extremely privileged adults who resent the very lives their parents built for them. I think David and Victoria understand the business, the stakes, and the long game. Brooklyn, frankly, is still figuring out who he is, and let's hope it's not a chef, okay?
Yeah. Or a photographer, because that photography book, that ain't a work of genius. But I have heard other commentators, people who are normally trusted, say that all is not what it seems with David and Victoria Beckham. They have crafted this public image that's very masterful. They're very likable, relatable, but it's not authentic. What do you say to that? I mean, I remember the whole Rebecca Lewis thing, the fact that David was sleeping with the nanny and Victoria just looked the other way and it wasn't an isolated incident. And then it makes you question the whole persona, the whole image they put out, whether there's anything real about it.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Bower wrote a really great book about your point right there, about how so much of it is theater, so much of it is highly choreographed, and how hateful they could be towards each other in this pursuit for fame, celebrity, and money. But I'm obsessed with it. I can't not love them. I don't know. There's something that the ambition in them. I admire it. I admire the never complain, never explain. They continue to show up. I admire the commitment, Rita.
Well, yeah, it's entertaining. I've got to say, they do make good reality TV, much better than Meghan and Harry, who we'll talk about shortly. Now, prominent Hollywood stars have used the Sundance Film Festival to condemn the shooting of Alex Pretty by ICE agents in Minnesota. One of these actresses, Olivia Wilde, I featured her earlier, said she was appalled. She was wearing an ICE Out badge. Let's hear from her again.
The world is hurting right now, and this country is hurting, and it's appalling. I'm appalled. I'm sickened. And we can't go another day just sort of accepting this as our new norm. It's outrageous. People are being murdered.
Natalie Portman also had a lot to say, Kinsey.
Yeah, I mean, there is something surreal about condemning ICE while standing at an elite Sundance event surrounded by wealth and status. That disconnect is why critics see moments like this as virtue signaling rather than meaningful advocacy. I would take Olivia Wilde much more seriously if she said, and that's why I've donated this amount of money to the victim's family. But you never hear that. But yes, Natalie Portman also said that while they were at Sundance, she felt like she was seeing beauty from Americans. They're showing up for each other, protecting each other, and fighting for their freedom. She said it's a bittersweet moment to celebrate something we're so proud of on the backdrop of our nation in pain. So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. Acknowledge it.
They're so desperately out of touch. It really is kind of comical, but it is also pathetic because you never hear them come out and say anything when you have innocent people slaughtered by people who are in the country illegally. They say nothing about the fact that the murder rate in the US dropped by around 20% last year. the biggest drop in a single year. They don't care about that. All they care about is this sort of division and regurgitating the hard left's talking points and pretending they're somehow enlightened and kind. I mean, give me a break. I've got very little patience for them, and very little patience for Kristen Stewart, another actress who's gone on an insane anti-Trump rant saying she wants to make movies in Europe, then shove them down the throats of the American people because reality is breaking under Trump. Kinsey, she is about the worst actress, I think, that's come out of Hollywood in the last 2 decades. But tell me about this new political activism from her.
I mean, is it new? Every time she doesn't wear pants, I'm assuming she's trying to make some form of a political statement. But Kristen Stewart preaching morality is a tough sell for audiences who remember her very public controversies. This is the same woman that cheated on Robert Pattinson with her married director in front of the entire world. People are done being lectured by Hollywood, and the industry is now paying the price for that disconnect. A lot of them are unemployed. We talk a lot about how there's no work here for entertainers, thanks to Gavin Newsom. But it's also this lecturing right here. People want an escape. They want to get away. And they're tired of being told about how awful the world is by these people in Chanel that are living their best lives.
Yeah. And it's just so vacuous. That's the problem. If these were people who'd taken the time to be fully informed about an issue and we're talking from a position of deep knowledge, then you'd go, okay, there's at least something we're learning here. But it's always so vacuous and pointless. Now, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle also appeared at Sundance to promote their latest documentary, Cookie Queens, which follows the story of 4 determined Girl Scouts as they navigate their multi-million-dollar business of cookie sales. Kinsey, the doco's already turning out to be a bit of a flop. It failed to sell out and fill the theatre even at the festival. That's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. You would imagine that celebrities would be crawling, so excited about being associated with royals in some way, shape, or form. But that just wasn't the case. As the lights went low and the film began, roughly 150 unoccupied seats scattered throughout the theater. Page 6 reports that waitlisters, which are, the nobodies, slowly filled empty places that were reserved for the high-profile Sundance pass holders who mostly ignored the visiting royals. The night before, just to give you an idea, the same theater was so packed for the invite premiere that 100 ticket holders were turned away. So it's not a good look, but we do love Girl Scouts. We apologize that Meghan Markle's gotten involved with them, but God love Girl Scouts.
And I love cookies. So, this doco seems to have a couple of positives. Before you go, the producers of Broadway show 6, the musical, have defended their decision to cast transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney as one of the main characters, Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, after copping major backlash from social media. Kinsey, they even restricted their X account and condemned bullying in all its forms in response to some of the feedback.
Look, some of the commentary is fair, and that feedback is the feedback getting under Dylan's skin. Some people are challenging whether Dylan earned this spot for their talent or was given the opportunity based on their infamy. Dylan believes they have the talent. Not my favorite Anne Boleyn, but I will tell you that if King Henry VIII would have caught Anne Boleyn with a hot dog down there, she probably would have lost her head a lot sooner.
Oh. Yes, I think you'd be right there, Kinsey Schofield. Thank you so much for your time tonight.